What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome to another video. It's currently 11:46 p.m. on Thursday the 27th of July, and we're going to start with DXY. We're looking at the weekly currently, and we've only got 1 day left of the week, so I'm not really going to say too much. I'm not really too fond of Fridays, but we're going to start with the DXY, and we're going to look at price action today. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll see that price done exactly as anticipated, but you'll see that today we pushed higher, and you can see the range that we're currently in from this high to this low. You can see how we're just pushing above this 50% level, and when you see things like this, we can now anticipate some kind of premium PD array to get traded to. So I'm starting with the weekly just to mark out potential PD arrays that price may be drawing to. That's premium PD arrays will be anything that's above the 50% level. So just to make things a little bit more clearer, I'm going to get rid of the writing of the levels and the prices, and then we know that the red level is going to be 50% of the range, blue delineates 25% and 75%. So we're looking for any kind of PD arrays that are resting above this 50% level that price is clearly drawing to. First thing I notice is this bearish order block. These two candles here make a bearish order block, so I've marked out this, and I'm going to just write bearish order block. I'll make that black, and I'm going to move that to the middle and to the right. So we've got a weekly bearish order block even, which means this is very strong. We can expect a significant turnaround here because it's a weekly bearish order block. Now we do have the low of that, which we did touch, but I've marked out the open of it because these are the most sensitive price points: the low, the open, and then the midpoint will also be a sensitive point. But let's drop down to the daily and see what we can find. You can see I've already marked out this fair value gap, which is resting just above this volume imbalance we have here. There is another slight volume imbalance here between this low and this high here, so there's reason for price to want to trade up into here, and then obviously we have this massive fair value gap. So that's what I'm anticipating to happen. Before that happens though, I'd like to see price maybe kiss the 50% level and then continue to push higher, and then here we have another bullish we have the start of the bullish order block. This is technically a breaker, and I'll explain why. We got a low, a high, a lower low, and then price moves higher. That means that this swing here creates the breaker, and so this candle here is what I'm looking at really, which happens to be lined up nicely with this fair value gap, and you can see that this remember, this is the weekly bearish order block. You can see that marks the 50% level of this bullish order block. And remember, when price trades through a bullish order block, it should then act as a bearish order block, meaning that when price does reach up here, I am anticipating a bearish response. So that's going to be nice to see. If we drop down to the 4 hour, we can have a better look at what happened today. Price pushed much higher from 8 a.m, running into these relatively equal highs. You can see we found support here, and now you can see we're just going to consolidate around the 50% level. We haven't taken out this swing high yet. I think price is likely going to want to take that out, and we have another fair value gap on the 4 hour that price is going to want to draw to. Now you'll see that there's another fair value gap resting up here, and if we go to the daily, this fair value gap, if this remains open, which I'm anticipating, I'd see this as a breakaway gap. I'll say that again. So if this fair value gap up here remains open, let's make it yellow. If that remains open, then I'm going to continue to be bearish on dollar, and I'd like to anticipate lower movement for the oncoming months, because remember, we start a new month pretty much next week, I believe. So yeah, I'd like to see this get left open, in all honesty. We can fill in this, consolidate, but then I'd want to see us turn around so that we can head lower on dollar. But right now you can see that we're likely going to stay range bound for a while, probably consolidate within this range and then expand lower. So let's go to the 1 hour and have a look. I'll quickly mark out the daily dividers. So here are the daily dividers for the week. You can see that we traded up to that 50% level, came down, took out sell stops here and here, traded into this fair value gap, closed it, and then we had a bullish reaction, traded much higher, and now we've just touched down back on this high, and now I want to see if we can push up into this high, resting here. Once we do trade into this, where would my target be? Well, I'd start looking for lower PD arrays such as this. But considering we're going to be above the 50% level, we need to see our price act around here and see if we do want to push any higher. But right now my eyes are definitely set on this fair value gap resting just above this swing high here, where we have some nice sell side liquidity resting. Buy side liquidity, I always get that mixed up. Buy side liquidity rested there. So yeah, I'd expect this to now act as support, and then tomorrow push into there, and then we'll see how price unfolds from there onwards. So let's go to Euro. GBP. Sorry. And we'll start with the weekly very quickly, just like we did with the dollar. If you watched yesterday's video, you see that price pretty much traded just as I like to see, to be honest. So make sure you go check yesterday's video for that. But yeah, what do we have here? So you can see that we traded and closed in this fair value gap here. And now this is an inverted fair value gap. So we traded up through it, making it a bullish fair value gap. Did it show support? No, we traded through it. We then wicked through it again, but it's still showing resistance. So now I'm looking for some kind of bearish PD array within our range. Our current trading range will be this low to this high. And you can see, just like dollar, we have now passed the 50% level. So I'm looking for bearish PD arrays, anything below this red line. There's nothing necessarily here on the weekly chart. So let's drop down to the daily and see if we can see any PD arrays. We do have this bullish order block resting here. And we also have this breaker here. Why? Low, high, lower low, and then we break higher. So this candle here is a breaker block. So I'm going to mark that out, a daily breaker block even. And this is where I want to see price draw to on pound. So I'm going to draw that out and I'm going to type in breaker. So I'd like to see price draw down into that, and we also have a bullish order block supporting that as well. So I do think price is likely to want to draw down into this breaker rest in here. It's likely it's probably going to kiss this goodbye one more time and then trade lower and fill in this breaker, or trade to the 50% level off it and then see if price wants to continue higher. Let's drop down to the 4 hour. You can see we traded higher, took out buy side liquidity. We then traded into this fair value gap. We didn't fill this fair value gap. You see we only traded to the 50% level off it. I'll just show that now. 50% is about here. I can't be exact because I took off the numbers, but I'm just showing you what I mean. You see we traded to the 50%, and price, what happened? We completely turned around at it. So we respected the bearishness of this fair value gap. So now we're looking for sell stops, and that's what we have resting below these lows here, which we traded through, and we have this beautiful sell side liquidity, which underneath rests a beautiful breaker block. So that's pretty much everything on pound. I want to see us trade down into that breaker. We'll drop down to the 1 hour, see if we can see anything more. Not much. You can see how we traded through that 50% level, kissed it, good night, and continued lower, taking out these sell stops again. And then again, this swing low is what I have my eyes on, and I have my eyes set on this breaker currently. Now, Euro's interest rate decision was today, so there was a lot of movement on Euro. You can see we took out these highs just by a tad. I'll show you. We took out this buy side liquidity just by a tad here, and then what happened? We broke down very aggressively, running into relative equal lows. And if we go to the weekly, same thing. I'm going to look at the current trading range, and I'm going to see what kind of discount PD arrays are we going to be trading to. Well, if we look at our current trading range from this low to this high, why this low? This is the last low, and this is the last high. So let's draw our trading range. Let me just clear my drawings. So this is our trading range. You see we've gone through the 50% level. Do we see any PD arrays below this 50% level? Well, we have this bullish order block here, which is in this fair value gap as well. So I'm going to mark out that as a bullish order block. This is a weekly bullish order block as well. So same as dollar, a very strong PD array. And then we'll make it black, and we'll make it like that. And let's just put the right in the middle and to the right. And we drop down to the daily, we can have a better look. What do we have resting just at that level? We have a fair value gap on the daily as well. So it's likely price is going to want to draw to this inefficiency. And then I do believe that's lined up with the breaker, because if you look very closely, this low is lower than this low. So the high in between that, which is this candle here, this very slim candle, that makes the breaker low, high, lower low, and then we break higher. So this is the breaker candle, meaning that, and that's lined up perfectly pretty much with, it's lined up perfectly with the fair value gap. So I want to see price on Euro draw down into this area to probably close off the week. So yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, make sure you watch yesterday's video and look how price action played out. It went pretty much just to plan, which is perfect. And I'll catch you on Sunday, for a weekly review. I am going to get some backtesting done now, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm trying to hit 300 subscribers, and I'll see you soon. Peace.